Shall we do a podcast?
Sure.
No cute pre-roll this week.
Vinny says I should live stream the podcast to Facebook from my laptop microphone.
I mean, that's a terrible idea. But if you want to, I don't care. It's just you. They get to look at you.
It'll pick you up.
Well, yeah, but they'll just be looking at you.
Yeah, that's probably how they always want it. Oh.
Burn.
Sick burn.
I don't know if it was a sick burn.
It's not. It's 100% not true.
Okay, I think this should work. All right, let's do a podcast.
Yay.
And we're done.
Who's going to play the part of Dylan? Is it going to be you or me?
Does anybody have to play the part of Dylan? That's kind of an irreplaceable character.
It's true. It's true.
We'll get Meryl Streep in here. She can do anything. I don't know.
I don't remember what movie it was, but I was trying really hard one time to remember Meryl Streep's name, and I just couldn't. And we were like in a car. We couldn't look it up for some reason. And I would have bet $100 that her name was Helen something. I don't know.
There's Helen Mirren.
It was not Helen Mirren I was thinking of, though. It was 100% Meryl Streep that I was thinking of. Like, I had a bunch of movies she was in. I just couldn't.
I mean, they're both great actresses. Yeah. All right, let's do a podcast. Welcome to the Byte Me podcast, episode 124.
It's a big number.
It is a big number. Yeah, and if you're new to the podcast, well, welcome. We are very lovely people. If you ask our parents, and we talk about video games.
Maybe.
Right?
Probably depends on which of my parents you're talking to and
true.
what day.
True.
My mom was here all weekend. It was a delight.
Was it?
Sure.
Does she listen to the podcast?
She does not.
Oh, okay, great. Was it really a delight?
You never know when she might start.
Yeah, exactly. Cliff's mom, if you're listening, thanks for being in town. Seattle was a nicer place for 3 days.
5 days.
5 days. Anyway, so yeah, if you're new to the show, we talk about video games, games we're playing, games we think you should be playing, some video game news, and we also give you some info on where to snag some cheap, free video games and let you know what's coming up in the world of games and games and games.
Mostly games.
Mostly games. Sometimes pizza and pets, but mostly games. My name is Adam West.
I am Cliff Johnson.
And there's normally a third person here. His name is Dylan. However, he is currently whooping it up in the Disney World. Disneyland.
Disneyland. I'm very jealous. I haven't been to Disneyland in a while, and I'm very sad.
And by a while in Cliff's world, Disneyland is what, like, it's been 3 months?
No, I mean, I've been to Disney World.
Right.
I just haven't been to Disneyland. They're different.
When was the last time you went to Disneyland? The end of last year?
Yeah, I've been, what month is it now?
This is April.
Yeah, so I went
October?
about a year ago now.
Oh, did you go to Disneyland all the other time? Or Disney World all the other times?
I went to Disney World a month ago or 2 months ago, and then in the fall, and I went to Disneyland in the spring of last year.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, now that we've covered Cliff's travel schedule of the last year.
I miss it.
On this week's episode, we've got some news for you about Overwatch. It's going co-op again with Storm Rising, not Rising Storm. Super Meat Boy Forever is missing its launch date, but for a good reason. We'll talk about that. Borderlands has been review bombed. Surprise, surprise. And however, it's not worked. And we'll talk about that. Apex cheaters are going to get banned at a hardware level. Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild's getting Labo VR support, which have you seen how you're going to play that?
A little bit. It's real weird.
It doesn't look like it's going to be comfortable.
No.
But hey, it's a step in the VR direction for Nintendo, which is kind of weird. Twitter is going to make it more... make dogs in games more pettable?
Yeah. It's an important thing.
Sure.
I mean, what's the first thing you do when you see a dog in a video game?
I typically shoot it.
You monster.
I know, I'm a terrible human.
Jesus.
I know. Well, the first
What's
time...
the second thing you do?
I don't know if it's
loot
a good guy. I skin it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But that's just video game world. In real life, I love the animals and I love the dogs.
All right.
I just don't know. So, like, in the first division, when the first dog came running up to me, I was like, oh, crap, I'm going to die. And I shot it. And then I realized that you're not supposed to shoot.
You are, in fact, not going to die.
No. But I've been playing Far Cry New Dawn, and you very, very much want to shoot 97% of the dogs that come running at you.
99% of the dogs. My God, those things are mean.
Yeah. They're freaking scary, man.
Do you think it's interesting, though? Like, do you have the dog? You have the dog, right?
I have not. Wait, yes. Okay. I just, you rescue the dogs in that little bunker thing. Yeah. I did that 2-3 days ago.
So that dog will rip the throat out of other people. Like, it is vicious, but it will not kill other dogs. They just kind of scuffle. It's weird. I don't know.
Weird. Resident Evil 2 is going to let you buy an unlock key for all rewards now. we'll talk about. I don't know what that means. So
I do.
Okay, great. Plus questions this week from all of our favorites, and a fun game called This or That, and cheap free games as well. There's a Humble Bundle in there, which I'm excited about. So we will talk about that.
There's a wacky Humble Bundle in there.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. But first, we talk about what we're playing. So let's do that. I'm currently playing. Excuse me. Let's Drink a Mountain Dew.
Wow,
that's a great game. I am playing Far Cry New Dawn.
Me too.
Yeah, so I'm still playing it, and I think I've become addicted to it, or I've really found the thing that everybody loves about Far Cry, which is just a really great gameplay loop.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Far Cry 5, and maybe it's because that was my first jump into the Far Cry scene, and I'd never played it before, and I'm still not the world's biggest fan of first-person shooters, but, I'm trying.
You're getting there.
And I really, really like it. I found a streamer on Mixer. His name is Twisted System, by the way. You should follow him. Check him out.
Nice.
Twisted, Twizted System, Syztem.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could not have made that much harder, could he have?
Well, I mean, it's Twisted System, just with Z's in the middle of each word.
Yeah, sure.
But he's a Pacific Northwesterner streamer. A lot of fun. And I started watching him, and I was trying to get the rhythm down for what these loops were and how to go about doing it. And I found my way into, doing that, like doing the treasure hunts, like going and just straight up going, you know what, tonight I'm just treasure hunting, and going around to the treasure hunts and doing that. And then the outpost thing, finally figured out how to get that down and how to get the different rewards for like no alarms and blah, 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 things like that. And I'm upgrading stuff, and I'm having a blast. It's a lot of fun.
It's so fun. And I really, we were talking about it earlier, and I think one of the things I love most about that game is just like the systemic wackiness of it, that things just blow up. Like stuff just blows up all the time.
Yep.
Things fall on other things, and people die and explode and light on fire and run around. It's crazy. And I love every bit of it.
Have you unlocked all the characters or rescued all the...
No.
So
I'm playing it sounds like I'm playing it differently than you are, where I'm just kind of doing like everything in one area. I'm playing it kind of like you played the first one, where you do all this stuff in one area and then you move to the other areas.
Well, this version is weird because the first mission you do is so far away, and it's in a completely different area. And then like the next mission after that is at the clear north end of the map, and it's all over the place. But I've been focusing on upgrading prosperity.
Sure.
And to do that, you have to... The first level, you level up the encampment or whatever is, you have to rescue these, what are they called? I forget what they're called, but they're like... Specialists.
Specialists,
yeah.
Yes.
So you have to rescue like one specialist, then you can upgrade it. The next level, you have to rescue 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, in between that, I was looking to see what's the best way to get no alarms on the outposts. And there's a character, a specialist you can collect, and her name is Nana. And she's...
Like my grandma?
Yeah, she's 70. I'm putting her in her mid-60s to early 70s. And she's a sniper. She's a sharpshooter. And she's got a foul mouth, and she's hilarious. And what's really cool about this character is that you can rescue her. You got to go through this thing with sharpshooting or whatever. And it's a fun mission. You get her, and then when you go to Outpost... if you've got your binoculars or if you've got, a sniper, you can mark all the enemies and mark as many as you can and just start sending her in to snipe them. And if she gets into the outpost, she'll never set off an alarm just by her being there. It's when they see you, then it sets it off. But if you do it just right, she can take out every enemy in an outpost, and you won't get detected, and you won't set off any alarms, and you'll get the bonus ethanol for no alarms.
Oh, nice.
So that was a fun little thing to learn how to do and learn how to use.
I should probably try and do that more, just because the bonuses that are worth it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do kind of just enjoy running in with a shotgun, too.
Totally.
So there's something to be said, right?
And another thing that I learned, so last Friday, that streamer Twisted, he had an open lobby, and he was rotating through people who were watching, inviting him into games and doing co-op and just running outposts. And we did an outpost, and he's super far into the game. He's got all prosperity leveled up, blah, 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 and you can craft elite weapons. So I went to the workbench in one of these outposts, and I got the game for $20, and I went ahead and paid like another $10 for like a crafting kit. So I've got all this stuff so I can, make new weapons, because it's whatever. I got the game for a deal. I figured another $10 wouldn't hurt. And in his game, I was able to craft elite weapons, even though I was only a level 2 workbench. And that's really cool because when I crafted those elite weapons, I was able to bring them back into my game.
That's awesome.
And use them there.
So
and
you're a little overpowered now?
A little and I'm okay with it. I'm really, really okay with it because I'm really enjoying taking out these turds in these outposts with one sniper shot to the head, just boom, done, boom, done. It's great.
It's good stuff.
So, yeah, so I've been playing that. I did pick up Yoshi's Crafted World just because I wanted to play that.
I still need to play the demo of that. I really do.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So I've got that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on the Nintendo eShop, the Switch eShop, that's on sale for just dirt cheap.
Yeah, Enter the Gundam's on sale for $7.50 right now. I kind of thought about picking that up.
Yeah. So I picked up a game called... I can't remember what it's called.
It's a good game.
It's a great game. And it's weird, though, because it's like it's a narrative story that you walk around, but so far you just walk around and the words pop up on the path as you're walking, telling the story. So
interesting.
It was only 99 cents or $1.50 or something. I'm like, oh, whatever. It's totally worth it.
My brother does that every week, just goes through and sorts by what's cheapest and buys all the games that are like under $1.
Stuff that looks interesting.
Yeah.
We'll try it. So there's that. And I think that's about all I've really been playing. I've been playing some Destiny 2 here and there. I need to find more people to play with.
Have you played more Destiny or Division?
I'm sorry, Division.
Yeah.
Division 2.
You just need to wake up early and play with me.
Yeah, there's that whole early thing.
Yeah. It's so good, though.
Oh, I know. Oh. I really, really like it. So I think I might try this weekend to play a bit more of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got much going on this weekend. That'll probably change, but I'll let you know. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing The Division 2 a lot. And, I mean, like we've said a billion times, that game is
really good.
Super fun. I probably have the same complaints about it that I did the first one, with maybe the exception of the bad guys aren't as spongy as they were in the first one. But I like all the same things I liked about it, and I dislike all the same things I disliked about it.
What is it you dislike?
It's a little... It's hard to manage your inventory in that game. You pick up a lot of stuff, and it's very hard to tell what does what, because it's not just what makes your armor the best. It's this one has better armor, but it gives you +5 to this, and this one has worse armor, but gives you +10 to this, and this one is a set, and if you get 3 of them, they'll stack things and do this. And I don't think it's hard to compare those things. And there's a lot of like, go into a menu, go out of a menu, go into a menu, go out of a menu, go into a menu. And so it makes it difficult to manage, and it also makes it really difficult to manage while you're in a mission. You don't want to say like, okay, hey, just wait for 5 minutes. I've picked up a bunch of stuff and I have to figure out what it is and what it does. And so you end up like filling up all your inventory, and then it takes 20 minutes when you're done with that mission. And I understand what they're trying to do, but I also don't understand why, like, what knee pads I have on affects my accuracy. Like, it just doesn't exactly make sense. And I think that it also is kind of like the first one, where there are definitely builds to that game where there are, someone who is supposed to be a DPS character, and there's someone who's supposed to be a healer, and there's supposed to be someone who is an X and X and X. And the game doesn't do a good job at all of telling you what those things are or how to spec out for them at all. And at the same time, you still have to be pretty powerful, because especially if you're only playing 1 or 2 player, it's very easy to die in that game. And so I could see how maybe if you were playing 4-player, it would make sense that, hey, we've got one person that really what they're responsible for is keeping the party healed and keeping the party alive. And maybe another player who's really tanky and can go in and take a lot of that, pull fired from the enemies. But when you're playing 2, you both kind of have to have guns and shoot a lot. Yeah. So it's kind of a game that I think doesn't necessarily scale very well depending on how many players you have. You have to be really more generalist if you're just playing with 2. The big baddie characters are still a little annoying. Like, I get that. I think in this game they do a better job of showing this is a big bad guy, and look he's covered in like Iron Man armor.
Right.
And so you understand why he can take a bunch of bullets and a bunch of bullets and a bunch of bullets, but they're still kind of obnoxious. We just started running across these. I've never been a big fan of the people that just like suicidal run at you with a baton.
They're so annoying.
They're super annoying and don't make any sense at all. Like they literally,
They're there to drive you crazy.
Well, so, you're fighting the hyenas, right? And they're this bad organization that really appears to their mission, as so far as you know it, is there was an apocalypse and they're taking advantage of it. Mm-hmm. They want to take over the city. They want to run things. They want to be in charge. Who are these dudes that they're recruiting? They're like, okay, so what your job is going to be is to die. You survived the apocalypse. The bad news is we need you to run at that guy over there with a baton.
He's got a big gun, but you've got a stick. I think you could take him.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
You'll get a participation ribbon. It's okay.
But we've run across these dudes now that have drones like you do. Mm-hmm. So they have these like little remote control cars that
those things are so annoying.
Oh, they suck so bad.
I mean, the first time one of those came rolling out at me, I'm like, what is that little thing? Oh crap, it just killed me.
Right.
And then, but being able to shoot them, I like being able to shoot them and blow them up, and like they can cause damage to people that they're around if you shoot them in the right space.
Like my biggest complaint really is the same as the first, where this is a cover-based shooter that rarely forces your enemies out of cover. Although I do like that the drones out. Did you ever pick up either of the drones?
Not yet.
So I have both the little sentry gun and the little flying drone. Right. The flying drone's awesome because you can literally target people and say, go bother him. And they will just zip across the map and just shoot bad guys like all the way across the map, which is really nice. You can pull people out of cover, but at the same time, there's so many bad guys that pulling one guy out of cover is kind of meh. Oh, yeah. So it frustrates me that they can so easily pull me out of cover, and it's very hard for me to pull them out of cover. But whatever, it's still super fun. It still feels better than most shooters I've played recently. Like the gunplay in it's great. It looks fantastic. There's been a lot of glitches graphically that I've seen, but
really,
oh yeah, like there's a lot of times where you'll see like, there's a lot of just kind of garbage around the streets, and it'll actually be like floating like 6 inches above the ground and kind of jittering a lot of the time.
Right.
We saw a sign. It was actually kind of cool. There was a sign that you could tell was supposed to be wrapped around a pole. But it was
no pole?
The pole was like a foot away from it, but so it was still wrapped, but it had little breezy edges on it. So it was just sitting there like in a half circle, like blowing in the breeze. The pole was over here. Nice. So, a lot of things like that, but whatever. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Game. So
what else are you playing?
I got back into Metro. Metro was... So we're playing it for Byte Me DLC Plays, and I got like halfway into it, and I'm like, this game's really fun. And then I started playing Far Cry, and all I want to do is play Far Cry now, which is a bit of a problem. My brother actually finished it, and he's like, so what I'll tell you is like, past where you are, the game gets really hard. And the game already was pretty hard.
It's a difficult game. Those games are not known for being a walk-through easy game.
And so what I did is I actually I was playing it on the Xbox, and I switched over to playing it on the PC, and I just got there's literally a file you can edit and give yourself God mode and unlimited bullets. So I want to finish the game because I want to be able to talk about it, but not so much that I want to die over and over and over and over
and
again.
I think that's one of the things about that series that it's not struck a chord with me because, first of all, I like first-person shooters now. I mean, I do like them. They're still not my go-to. And there's really got to be something special about it to really get me to stick with it. And there's just something about the Metro games. They're beautiful games. They're great. They're very well done. But I feel like that series in particular falls on the spectrum towards the end of the spectrum for like hardcore first-person shooter fans. Like that's very much an FPS fanboy kind of game.
It's a game, and obviously we'll talk about it more when we actually record the podcast about it, but it's a game that every single enemy encounter, at least when you're fighting other people, like it is what it is. It's a first-person shooter. You shoot some bad guys.
Yeah.
But when you're fighting the monsters that inhabit that world, it's like you never quite have enough shots in whatever gun you're shooting to kill them before you have to reload. So it's a lot of like, bam, bam, you're going to need a third shotgun shell, but you need to reload before you can kill him. And then it attacks you.
In that game move quick.
They're really, really, really fast. And so, one of the things that I said that was real positive about it when I was playing it without cheats on was that you constantly felt like you were on just right the edge of your ability. Like you were constantly, oh God, am I going to die? And the problem is that, like, to me, a well-balanced game will keep you on the edge of, oh my God, you're about to die. And then you won't. And this game often was, oh my God, I'm on the edge of it. Oh, and I died. And then, oh my God, I'm on the edge of, and I died. And the fifth time I was on the edge of it and I made it through, but it took 4 or 5 times. And that just, I mean, for some people, that is exactly what they want out of a game.
Nope.
And it is not what I want out of a game. So,
Nope.
you know, I'm perfectly fine turning on the cheat modes. And I mean, in a perfect world, I wish I could just like I wish I had sliders so I could like, hey, make my gun a little more powerful, make the bad guys a little less powerful, give my gun more ammo, you know, whatever. But, you know, if it has to be a binary on off, that's fine too. So I'll still get the story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're playing. If we're not playing something you think we should be, let us know. Do that. And yeah, while you're letting us know, if you'd like to, you can go over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/ByteMePodcast. And you can support our show for as little as $1 a month. You get some special stuff in Discord, some special colors and avatars and things, and stickers, and maybe a magnet, maybe some window clings.
I have window clings. I need to send them out. Haven't done it yet.
They're real cool.
They are cool.
So yeah, it's patreon.com/ByteMePodcast, and you can support us up to a producer level where you get all kinds of extra benefits. You, no matter what, you'll get access to our shows before everybody else does, as soon as they're done, special episodes before anybody else. And if you're a producer, we say your name on each show.
And I actually have it pulled up this week.
Yeah.
So we've got Jack Irish,
Hello.
Jacob Frank,
That guy.
Tom McDermott,
That other
Austin Palmer, Alan Schulte. I said his name right this week.
You did.
Alan Schulte, Joe Cole Jr., Kevin Schold, and of course, Vinny Ciampa. I'm going to take this opportunity to pimp, maybe that's not the right word, pimp Vinny's stream. Can I do that?
Sure.
Yeah. So this weekend is Vinny's 1 month anniversary of being a partnered streamer, or a, not partnered, whatever the one on Twitch is. I forget what it is. Anyway, it is, and so he's going to be doing a stream starting at noon Eastern on Saturday, the 13th. And he's just going to keep streaming, like, as long as people keep willing to throw like little Twitch dollars at him, he's just going to keep going. So what I think we need to do is figure out a way to like space these out. You know, if enough people sub him, if enough people follow him, he's going to just keep adding time to it. So we just need to keep doing this until Vinny literally falls over and passes out and dies.
Well, I don't know if he needs to die, because I don't want him to end up like, you know,
right. Maybe not dead.
South Korean internet cafe. Don't want that to happen.
Maybe just until he falls asleep playing, and then we can watch his stream go on for like another 8 hours while he sleeps.
That would be
cool?
amazing.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. It's really cool. I mean, I've fallen asleep streaming before, so, you know, it can definitely happen. Anyway, go watch Vinny. It's twitch.tv/Devinster. He's going to be giving away some free games. And, you know, with a little bit of work, I think we can make Vinny fall asleep at his computer.
I would watch that.
Right? Me too.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm just going to check back at like 1 a.m. and see how it's going.
Nice. Well, cool. There is that. Again, it's patreon.com/ByteMePodcast. And also make sure you subscribe to us and rate us and review us wherever you might be listening to us, including the iTunes.
Definitely the iTunes.
Or the Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
I just redid our website. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things I do. If you go to our website now, I actually have links out to all the different platforms you can find us on. You can review them on a multitude of them. So go check it out.
I'm looking at our website.
Adam's looking at our website right now.
Look at all that.
I know, it's fancy, right?
We've got Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Podcast One, Spotify, CastBox, Overcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, and there's a feed.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, fun.
Right.
Okay, well, there is that. And with that, we're going to get into our next segment. He's not here to do it, so I'm not going to do it. It's news.
We should have done that in like a super like radio announcery voice. Do it.
Up next, news.
See, there you go.
There you go. All the news that is news. All right. So up first, Overwatch is going to go co-op again with Storm Rising. It's a new story mission about Overwatch's pursuit of the Omnic Talon boss, Maximilian. I have no idea what I just read. I don't play Overwatch, but hey, cool things.
The Overwatch co-op is the only mode of Overwatch that I really enjoy. I have not played this one yet, obviously, because it doesn't come out until I believe the 16th.
Okay. So is it like an actual? Is there a story like campaign inside Overwatch?
Well, so Overwatch itself, like as a you know shooty game, doesn't really have a campaign a story within it, but there's that whole range of like comic books and animations and stuff that build a story around it. And it is literally like two sides fighting each other for dominance over something. I don't actually read those comics or watch those little movies, but so I played Uprising, and it was really fun. It was a 4-player. There was actually 4 players that it wanted you to choose, but you could actually play as any of them. And you did a series of like capture missions, and it was really fun. It was like playing a regular game of Overwatch, except you were playing against NPCs, and there was a ton of them.
Okay.
It was super fun. Dylan and me and my dad and maybe my brother or maybe my kid, I don't know, played it for like 3 or 4 hours one night. It was really fun, and then it like just went away. But you can play this new one and play Retribution and Uprising, the 2 ones that have been the last 2 years. It's to me, it's the best way to play Overwatch.
Very cool.
There's probably a multitude of people that disagree, but
and also you're going to get access to more than 160 cosmetic items.
It's a lot of cosmetic items.
That's a lot.
A lot. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
I think it's a lot, but it's just in this current season's loot boxes. So
that's true. So this might literally be just for this event.
Wow.
So it's cool though. Like I said, I really recommend you play this. It's only going to last for not very long. I'm going to say like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but try it out. We should definitely try and get on and do it. You own Overwatch, don't you?
I do.
We should.
I looked at the loading screen.
We should get in there and play it. Because
I think it came in a humble bundle at one point.
Oh yeah, it did. You're right.
Yeah, like
a
year and a half ago. I want to say.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right. So up next, Super Meat Boy Forever, which is kind of a successor-ish to Meat Boy.
I'm so hyped for this game.
Super Meat Boy.
It's so good.
But it's going to miss its launch date. Which was
in March. We actually
was it March?
We kind of hyped it as part of our like games coming out in March releases. But if you recall, it didn't actually have a release date, just that it was coming out in March, and it did not because it's April now.
So so it should be hopefully coming out at some point this month. And the reason is what?
So they released this kind of, it was a tweet, but they like took a picture of it so it could be longer than, 280 words or whatever. And they said, "We've been knocking out the last bits of Super Meat Boy Forever at record speeds while keeping a healthy and sustainable pace. We are going to keep that pace, which means we will not hit our April 2019 release. Sorry about that. We could have sacrificed our minds, bodies, and social lives to make April 2019, but that's stupid. Team Meat isn't some studio owned by an evil asshat corporation that has say over what we do and how we do it. We are fortunate enough to have control over how we work, and we choose not to run ourselves into the ground." And I just think that's so healthy.
Well, yeah.
We hear all the time about these developers that are just literally killing themselves to make games. And I love that they're just like, no, come on, dude. What's the difference between April and May? Play something else for a month.
Right. And then you've got games like Anthem that people overwork the living crap out of themselves and and you hear about all these horror stories. And then when the game comes out, it's effectively broken.
Go read
it's just not as good as it should or could have been.
The Jason Schreier article on Anthem.
Yeah.
I did a DLC, like a little 5 or 6 minute DLC episode about it too.
Yep.
It is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
I can't imagine.
But good on them.
No, thank you.
Good job, Team Meat.
Yeah. All right, so Borderlands 3 was announced, and they set a release date September 13 of this year, which, incidentally, is only like 5 days prior to the 7-year anniversary of the release of Borderlands 2. It's almost 7 years to the day.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah, so, but with that came an updated version of Borderlands and Borderlands 2, and just an upgrade, like the second
Visual
or third
HDR,
version of it.
It's supposed to look gorgeous.
Yeah. But in response to Gearbox Games releasing
on the
Borderlands 3 only on the Epic Store for 6 months, it's a 6-month exclusive. Borderlands, the new updated version, was getting review bombed on Steam.
Yes.
And I heard about that, like, it was almost immediate. As soon as they announced that, as soon as it went on sale, hell, I think even when pre-orders were up for the new updated version, people were review bombing it. It hadn't even been out yet. But Steam has put into place, they've kind of got a way to get around the whole review bombing thing.
Yeah, and so what they do now is they detect, and I think it's based on time periods and algorithms and, I don't know, magic probably. They put everything they could have put into Half-Life 3, they put that energy into this review bomb software. And what it does is the reviews are still, you can go in and look at them, but most of them are very obviously have nothing to do with the game.
Right.
And I actually made the kind of offhand joke that it's like when you go to review an Amazon item and someone's like, showed up broken, 1 star. And you're like, dude, that has, was 2 days late, 1 star.
It was raining when it was delivered, 1 star, but it works perfectly.
Yeah. Hate those people. Anyway, this is the equivalent of that. And it does nothing except exasperate people that actually want to see what a real review of Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steam has this software now that essentially eliminates those from the score of the game, so it'll still show mostly positive or overwhelmingly positive or whatever that, but it does keep those reviews in place, I guess, for posterity. I don't know why they don't get rid of them overall, except that I'm sure if they did.
Well, because then you would have to have somebody who actually has a job to go in and do that, and they don't want to pay somebody.
I just don't understand why they can't just hide them, you know?
Well, yeah.
It to me,
like if a review, if it comes in during that period, and it's, there's got to be some way.
Yeah.
For if they can detect, quote unquote, and have an algorithm that's going to go through and say, okay, well, all these reviews are complete BS.
Yeah.
Why can't you just wipe them?
And I guarantee you it's so they don't have to deal with people like, censorship. You know, it's a company that could totally censor you and do it completely legally, but whatever.
Yeah.
People don't really understand how censorship works. But anyway, so they blocked over 4,000 reviews. It hasn't affected it at all. So essentially 4,000 people wasted their time, you know, telling you that it got broken in shipping. And not to say that there aren't reasons. We had a big discussion on this on the Discord. And not to say that there aren't reasons to dislike the Epic Store. Like, the Epic Store has a lot of problems, a lot of things people don't like about it. That's fine, but this isn't the way you deal with that. Like, if you have a problem, I guarantee you, if those 4,000 people had actually taken the time to, like, write an email to them that was coherent, or called their customer service line, or, you know, done anything that actually was let me open a line of communication with a company, that would have been so much more impactful than review bombing software that doesn't have anything to do with it.
So I know that that Valve or Steam has that's its own storefront. So when you buy a game through another store, are you able to integrate that into the Steam social network? Can you launch the game via Steam?
It kind of depends on how the launchers work. Sometimes it'll launch the launcher. It just kind of depends on the game.
Because
honestly,
in a way, like, if we keep getting all these different storefronts, and they're doing this exclusive that and this thing there and blah, 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 blah. And then if it's locking out being able to socialize with players on these other storefronts, quote unquote, isn't that kind of the same thing as like platform exclusivity?
But it doesn't lock you out from playing with those other people. It just prevents you from, I guess, being able to participate in the, I mean, you still have a Steam account. You can still go talk in the Steam forums.
Right.
You can import your friends lists into the Epic launcher. So it's really, a lot of it is about, like, security. People aren't real pleased with how the Epic Store approaches security. It does not have reviews at all right now.
Right.
Its search is not great. There's a lot of reasons to not like the Epic Store.
Yeah, the Epic Store, I've tried getting in there to grab the free games or whatever, and I can't seem to figure out where to go to get them.
Yeah, and, like, I've gotten it that far, but you know, it's fine. Like, I understand not liking the Epic Store. I 100% understand that. But review bombing unrelated software isn't the way to get your point across. It just is silly. And
because no matter what, it's still going to launch on that store.
It just doesn't matter. And I mean, Randy Pitchford is quoted as saying Randy Pitchford is the president of
Gearbox.
Thank you.
Gearbox, yeah.
Gearbox, yeah. I mean, first of all, this isn't even his decision. This is not a Gearbox decision. This is the 2K decision. So his publisher made this decision. So you're hurting Borderland games, which could directly impact developers at Gearbox to, you know, get back at someone who isn't even at Gearbox. It's very dumb. But he has said, ironically, this misuse is ironically, that this misuse is possible and that Steam has no interest in correcting this misuse makes me kind of happy about 2K's decision and makes me want to reconsider Gearbox Publishing's current posture on the platform. So literally what you did is you made Randy Pitchford go like, dude, like, you can do all this bullshit review bombing on this platform and they don't do anything to stop people from doing it. They just kind of, like, wave it away for our review score.
Right.
Maybe I should move to somewhere that doesn't have commenting.
Maybe I'm just going to go back and take everything out of there that is currently on there, and you just won't get it at all.
Yeah, you'll have to go to the Epic Store, and
it's whatever.
It's dumb.
Dumb. Right. Speaking of dumb, anybody who cheats in a video game, you're kind of dumb too.
Super dumb.
I mean, sometimes watching people cheat is kind of funny because some of the things that happen is kind of funny, but at the same time, it's just like, if you're cheating for fun, just to be like, oh, look at me being a dick and look at what that's one thing. But if you're actually cheating because you think it's going to make you a better player or more,
I don't know. I didn't
way.
really realize this until. So what we're talking about is Apex has started hardware banning people from the game.
How do you hardware ban someone?
So every PC has what they call an hardware ID. So and it's a combination of, I believe, it's a combination of all the components in your system. And so that's how Windows knows if you take out your hard drive and go put it in another computer, that's how it knows that it's been moved. And so a computer has a hardware ID, and the only way to change that hardware ID is to change your hardware. But it also, like, I know processors also have an ID, so it's a possibility that this is also the processor ID. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of those two numbers. And so generally speaking, what they do is they just ban an account. They say, Adam's a cheater, and we're banning his account. But then if he logs into my account, even on his same computer, all of a sudden Adam's not a cheater again because he's Cliff. And what this is doing is saying, hey, Adam's a cheater, and we banned him, and his hardware ID is 12. And, oh, hey, Cliff just logged in under hardware ID 12. He's still a cheater. And, hey, I bought another copy of this game and created a new account. Still a cheater. And so these guys are getting in, and within minutes of getting back into the game are getting banned again and banned again and banned again, which is awesome. Like, this is the way to stop people from cheating.
Oh, for sure.
Because before it was like, oh, hey, I'll just spend another $10. I'll get another copy of the game. Or, I mean, this game's free. I'll just create another account and get a copy of this game. But what never occurred to me is that there are people that stream them cheating at games, and people apparently enjoy watching that, which is super crappy.
I don't know, like I've excuse me, like I've seen streams where people are cheating, but they're very clearly cheating, but they're not doing it in a way to.
But doesn't that disrupt everyone who's playing that game seriously?
Yeah,
that seems really crappy to me.
I know. Okay, so maybe I'm a little subversive in certain.
Maybe you're crappy,
aspects.
Adam.
I'm not crappy. I never cheat.
Hardware
I don't
ID
cheat.
12. It's getting banned.
I don't. What? Oh yeah, right. Hardware ID 12. Look out. I don't condone cheating, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I've not found it entertaining in the past. Watching it anyway.
I hate those people, man.
Well, I think they're turds, and if I ever was part of one of those matches with them, I'm sure I'd be really pissed off. But it's. Like I said, I'm not going to lie and say I haven't watched a streamer who's cheating and totally laughed my ass off or went like, oh, what? You know, something like that. Because they pull off such ridiculous stuff sometimes. So
it never occurred to me that there are people that do it on purpose to get views. One of the guys they talked about, it was pretty funny. He had 400 people watching him cheat and he got banned. And then he got someone else's account from his chat. That one was banned. Signed up for a new account, banned. Like, you know, and I mean, you can.
No, I think part of it too is just knowing that they're going to get caught.
Yeah,
it's like I know this guy's going to get caught. So
it'll be interesting to see if they figure out a way to. Because I don't think you can change that hardware ID. So literally, it would be like buy a new video card, buy a new.
Right? Yeah. Could you imagine every time you're like, I'm going to cheat at Apex? Well, got to go get a new video card.
Anyway, 355,000 people have been banned in the last month.
That's crazy.
And it doesn't say that all of them are being banned by hardware ID, so it's a possibility that they are banning, like, cheaters, people that are using cheat software by hardware ID, but maybe if you're just a jerk, you're getting soft banned. So I don't know, but that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, but it also goes to show just how popular Apex has become in just, 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, boom?
It's not been long.
Nice. All right, so you heard about Labo VR. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch on the 12th, so this weekend. What, Friday?
Yeah, I think so.
Friday.
Today's the 3rd, yeah.
So by the time you're listening to this, you may have less than 24 hours to pick up a new Nintendo Labo VR for $80.
God, they're goofy looking too.
I know.
They're as cheap as $40.
As cheap as $40?
You can get, there's a $40 version and there's like a $40 version that you can get 2 add-ons for, or the $80 version that includes everything. It's so goofy.
Well, what's interesting is Nintendo's going to be updating Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild with Labo VR support. Mario Odyssey is going to get 3 new mini missions in VR, but Breath of the Wild, the entire game, is going to be playable in VR. Now, by VR, and as I throw the air quotes up, have you seen the way they're expecting you to play this game in VR?
It's worse than Google Cardboard, I think.
I mean, yes, because so you stick your Switch into the Labo VR, aka the Google Cardboard, because that's literally what it is. You
fold it up around it,
in. and then you've got your Joy-Cons attached to it on the side, and you've got to basically hold it up to your head and play the game like... I wish you could see me right now because you're literally...
I mean, I could turn it around.
You could, but no, let's not do that because I look ridiculous. There's a picture of a kid or somebody playing this with this thing sitting on their face, and they have to hold the Joy-Cons to hold the... It
does not look comfortable. I can't imagine playing Zelda's like, what, an 80-hour game?
Yeah, right? As uncomfortable as it was to listen to me to describe it, that's what it's physically going to be
There's no straps. The Switch is heavy.
Could you imagine strapping that on? Like, what if you've got an 8-year-old that's like, I want to play Mario in VR. You strap this thing to your kid and he just topples over because the Switch is heavier than his head.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It comes with a bunch of other VR games. You can make a bunch of other... There's like a camera thing you can make, and I like a bird, and I don't know, like a telescope. I don't understand. Maybe that's a rocket launcher. It does have some sort of rocket next to it, bazooka kind of looking thing. This is not for me. It's just
no,
not
you don't
for me.
think? I mean, you own an Oculus. Why not?
I want to play one though. Like, I do not want to buy one. I do not want to spend $80 to buy one. But I really, really, really want to watch one. Like, I want to play with one in a store. Maybe someone will demo these in a store. I can try it.
Oh yeah, So there's the kid holding the thing. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
It's real weird. It's super weird.
What is even going on here?
A lot of things.
So I feel like this would be something that we could put our Patreon funds. We can dip into our Patreon funds just to get
buy
one
a
of
Labo.
These. Yeah, and we'll keep it here at the office because I bring my Switch with me every day. It's always in my bag. So, and then we could just
maybe we could make this like a secondary revenue stream where we convince people in our office to do stupid things with our Labo, and then we'll take video of them doing it, and we'll like put those on a private Patreon that people have to pay money to go see. Or maybe we
just give it away because I don't know if people want to pay money to see that.
No. Well, because they're going to be dumb looking. So maybe we make them pay us not to post it on Patreon. That's the way to do it.
Oh, so it's a blackmail.
Exactly.
Patreon.
It'll be great. You can probably only do it 2 or 3 times before it gets around, but...
Well, yeah, and then we'll have the FBI down our neck. And thank you. So if you're going to be picking up the Nintendo Labo VR on the 12th, you should... go ahead. Be our guest.
Let us know.
Yeah. You're going to have to wait about 2 weeks, though, for the updates to come out for Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, but they will have they'll have the VR support that they're promising on April 25th.
All right.
So there's that. All right. Twitter is helping to make more in-game dogs pettable.
You know, is pettable a word? Because every time I tried to spell it, regardless of how I spelled it, it told me it was not a word.
I mean, let's ask the Google. It is.
Perfect. So
definition of pettable, capable of, fit for, or worthy of being petted. Pettable, definition of pettable by Merriam-Webster.
All dogs are pettable.
Well,
all dogs are pettable.
I don't know. Have you met the dogs in Far Cry New Dawn? Some of them are not pettable.
That's not their fault. That's
They're pettable once you shoot them in the face.
If you took those dogs, you gave them some food and gave them a nice home, they would calm right down. It'd be fine.
Not every dog in a video game is a Unilad video on Facebook.
They would
just not.
They would be fine.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about this because I don't. What does this mean?
Okay, so there is a new Twitter account, and it is literally called Can You Pet the Dog? I think it's literally at Can You Pet the Dog.
Wow.
And they've just been going through video games, and it's super dry. This is not dog rates. This is like the dogs in Enter the Gungeon are not pettable. The dogs in Assassin's Creed Odyssey are pettable. And that's literally all it is like the name of the game and whether they're pettable or not. And they've been going through all these games. And specifically, they mentioned that the dog in Enter the Gungeon is not pettable. And a guy tagged Dave Crooks, who is the developer of Enter the Gungeon, and like literally all it was the dogs in Enter the Gungeon are not pettable. He tagged him with like a sad crying face, and Dave Crooks, his only reply was, "Hold my beer." 3 weeks later, they released the very final update to Enter the Gungeon, and part of that release was dogs are now pettable. So they updated. So it was like update: dogs in Enter the Gungeon are now pettable.
So a Twitter account is legitimately
it's changing the face of dog pettability in video games.
That's insanity. Wow.
I just think it's funny how much of a thing this has become. And it's not because of the Twitter account. I think the Twitter account probably came about because people talk about it so much. But every single game I've heard of in the last 6 months are like, hey, there's dogs and cats. The first thing they say is, can you pet them? And if you can't, it's a problem. Like, I don't think you can pet the dogs in The Division 2, and that makes me sad.
Are there dogs?
Yeah, there's.
I can't.
You shot one, remember?
No, in the first division.
Oh yeah,
I shot the
there
dog.
are still dogs in the Division 2. There are also deer.
That's what I see a lot of. I see a lot of deer. And I think it's okay to shoot deer.
I did shoot a deer. Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just curious if you could more than anything, and you definitely...
You can shoot rats in that game.
Okay, because I tried to shoot a rat the other day. And
I've shot rats in those games.
Interesting.
Yeah. What I'm really liking in Far Cry New Dawn is like, there are bald eagles flying around, and you can shoot them because they attack you.
America is no longer a thing. It's fine.
No, America is a thing. We're just talking about the video game. It was funny because when I was playing with that streamer that I mentioned earlier, we were doing an outpost and we're trying to get no alarms. And he was like, "Oh crap, I'm getting attacked by a bird." And he got seen because he was trying to run away from this bird that was attacking him.
There was actually a mission in Far Cry 5 where you had to like get some stuff out of an eagle's nest. I don't remember if it was a bald eagle or not, but man, those things would F you up. It was bad. Have you run into the wild hogs yet?
Oh my God, they're terrible.
Oh my God, they run in packs of like 3. They will shred you.
What about that freaking bison, man? The big, like legendary bison or yellow. It's got a yellow.
I tried to shoot a moose. That did not end well for me.
No, I tried shooting the bison from up in a billboard, like post, because I was like, I'm just going to stand up here and shoot this. Well, the bison killed Nana. And Nana's down there screaming, I'm leaving this world. And she's like, I can't go out like this. So she's dying, and I'm shooting this thing, and I'm just unloading on it. And eventually it's just like, I'm done here, and it'll just take off. It'll run away after I wasted half of my,
You need your legendary weapons to shoot.
I had it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's not cute.
You need a rocket launcher.
Well, I'd have probably blown up Nana, but at that point she was already...
she was walking towards the light.
Right, she's all like, I'm falling and I can't get up. I've become a cliche.
Papa, I can see you.
She literally says, I've become a cliche.
I love the like companion chatter in that game. It's hilarious.
It's really good.
Good.
Anyway, all right, back to the news. We got one more to talk about. Resident Evil 2 is going to let you buy an unlock key for all rewards now.
So this is an interesting thing. So
is this like a pay to win kind of thing then?
Well, it's kind of pay to win, and it's kind of there's a couple different ways you can look at this. Okay. So until now, in order to unlock these things, and I'll tell you the list. It includes the Fourth Survivor, the Tofu Survivor, Unbreakable Combat Knife, Samurai Edge Handgun with infinite ammo, LE5 Submachine Gun with infinite ammo, AT4 Rocket Launcher with infinite ammo, a minigun with infinite ammo, a bonus costume models and concept art. So like to unlock those previously to now, you'd have to earn them via gameplay, and it was hard. Like these were special challenges you had to complete in order to unlock these. And so now Resident Evil's been out for a month, maybe now, Resident Evil 2. And they're like, okay, so for $5...
I want to say maybe 2, because it came out in February.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah.
For $5, you can unlock all of these now.
Okay.
And like, there's one side of it saying like, hey, that sucks. Like, I worked really hard to get all of those things, and now someone can buy them for $5. But on the other side, they're saying like, hey, if you're not very good at this game and you're not able to progress because you're not very good at this game, some of those guns with unlimited ammo essentially give you an easy mode for that game. So it kind of depends on which side of the argument I guess you're on. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks. And the other half of it is, you know, like it points out in IGN is like, do you remember when cheat codes were just codes that you entered and you didn't have to pay $5 for? But to kind of take it back to what we were talking about last week with, you know,
the whole difficulty easy mode thing.
If developers said, hey, we wanted to add an easy mode to this game, it's not something we planned on. It's going to take a little bit of work to balance it right. We want to do this as DLC and it's going to be an extra $5. I would pay that $5 every time.
And you know, I was getting out of my head. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, we've got these games like Sekiro or Dark Souls or Bloodborne that are created for a very, very, very specific audience. They don't care if they're selling tens of millions of copies, which they are anyway.
Yeah.
But it's for a very specific crowd. And if you've got all these people that are like, well, where's my easy mode? I want to play it. Which I'm kind of making fun of you, but whatever.
I'm one of those people.
That's fine. I'm kind of making fun of you. If you're willing to throw down an extra $5 so they give you an easy mode, just because that game was not made with you in mind.
Yeah.
But if they're like, hey, if you want to throw us some more cash, of course we'll
I would pay that
for you.
I would pay that every time.
Because I think $5
is very, very nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you could pick up copies of these games now for $20 and $30.
Yeah. I would 100% pay an extra $5 to always have. or do you remember when Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out and then like 3 months later they released like that control panel where you can literally dial everything in? I would pay $5 for that in any game. Yep. I would pay $5 to a subscription service that just let me download that and then pay $5 for any game. Like that'd be great.
Totally.
Done.
Well, there you go. There is all your news for the week. Excuse me while I catch my breath.
It was that good.
It was so good. So newsy. All right, so we're going to get into some questions now. If you have questions for us, you can always find us on Facebook at Byte Me Podcast or bytemepodcast.com or on Twitter, or just go to our Discord. We've got a whole channel set up for questions. We've got questions and people chatting about stuff that never make it on the show, all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely check it out, bytemepodcast.com/Discord, and you will get in there. Kicking things off every week with this guy who is celebrating his 1 month anniversary stream this weekend on Saturday. We talked about him. It's Vinny.
Vinny.
That guy.
He doesn't get a voice this week.
Not this week.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Dylan will be back next week.
When somebody does it as well as Dylan does, you try not. We've tried to replace the voice and mimic him and mock him and make fun of him.
He was supposed to call in from the Haunted Mansion and do his Vinny voice, but whatever.
That would be great. But so yeah, we're going to kick it off as always with Vinny. Vinny says, if you were to create a rhythm game based off of an already existing franchise, what would it be? P.S. Donkey Konga with the bongos was amazing. This was his first rhythm game, and he vividly remembers playing We Will Rock You with bongos, and it was great.
I've never played the bongos.
I played a lot of percussion when I was in high school, so like.
So you've played real bongos?
Or you've
played Diddy Kong bongos?
No, I played real bongos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you played video game bongos?
No, because I saw that and I'm like, I am never, ever going to play that.
Looks fun.
But I've heard a lot of great things about it. And did you see, I think it was IGN when they did their NVC podcast a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about controllers or whatever for the Switch. And they made the joke that they need to make Joy Congos to put on there. And they mocked up a whole picture and everything. It looked great.
Oh, God, that'd be amazing.
So rhythm game based off an already existing franchise, what would it be? I don't know. I would say at first it was kind of hard for me to picture any franchise going in a rhythm direction. But then you've got the Legend of Zelda mashup with...
Oh, yeah, with...
Necrodancer?
Necrodancer, yeah.
So, which is a straight up rhythm-based action game. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Very excited. So the one I want, there's a handful of levels in the new Rayman games. I don't remember what those are called.
Those games have always been kind of touted as a rhythm-y
Yeah, but there's some very specific ones where, like, there's one where you literally play Eye of the Tiger as you collect things. And so if you get really good at that game and hit it in the right tempo, you actually play a song by collecting the collectibles and sliding down the right things and hitting things in the right order.
Okay.
And those are some of the best games. Like, it's super fast. They're really, really, really fast, and you can't screw up because if you screw up, you not only miss the song, but also it usually kills you. And there's, I'm going to say 2 or 3 of them that are very musical. And one is literally the Eye of the Tiger. And I want to say there's a couple other real songs in it, and they are so fun. I would 100% play an entire game of Rayman playing songs as you progress through the level. They're super fun.
It'd be really cool if they did like an endless runner. Yeah. Like a platformy style endless runner that also was a rhythm game that had very specific rhythm elements where you had to hit certain things, and if you missed them you would end up failing that level. Or
like I said, we talked about it last week. 140 is a really cool like platformery rhythm game that's a lot of fun. I think that it's something we don't apply rhythm to a lot of things, and it can really make a game interesting. I played I can't remember who made it. It was the folks that make Guitar Hero or Rockman actually made a
Harmonix.
I think it was Harmonix made like a shmup where you were a little fighter and you had to shoot things. And the game itself was terrible, but it had a lot of potential, I think, from that kind of rhythm where you could only shoot on the rhythm, and it was interesting.
Well, and it's like if you've played, I totally forgot what it is called. But
love that game.
It's on... I want to say it came out on the Sega Saturn originally, and then they released a VR version for the PlayStation VR, Res Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's kind of a rhythm-y kind of shooter.
Yeah.
It's more musical kind of shooter. It's not necessarily rhythm, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of a franchise, though, that's already in existence I'd want to see. I mean, it might be kind of fun if you just mashed up Doom like into some kind of a rhythm game with just crazy speed metal going on.
Oh God, Dylan and I have been listening to the
That'd
Doom.
be really good.
We've been listening to the Doom soundtrack a lot lately, and it is so good.
It's a great
so
soundtrack.
Good. Oh, love it.
Great if there was like a shooting range of some kind that was just like a rhythm mashup to that.
The person that shares an office with us will come in every once in a while. Like she'll be at lunch or whatever. She'll come back. We're listening to the Doom soundtrack, and like she just kind of looks up at the ceiling, like, "What is this? And why are you making it happen?"
This doesn't sound like a white guy with a guitar and a beard. It's really weird.
Real weird. It's good.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Vinny, for that. Up next, Joe Coleslaw says, with WrestleMania highlighting both women competitors in the main event, as well as placing a prestigious title on a deserving athlete, Kofi Kingston, what video game or game studios do you feel have properly highlighted female characters in addition to other minority or marginalized groups? How is the equalization of representation among everyone now versus then, and where can you see it going in the future?
That's a good question.
That's a deep dive.
It is.
Well, first of all, cool to WrestleMania or WWE or whatever it was that,
Wrestling folk.
Wrestling people.
Yeah, they did a main event, I think, with 3 I do not watch
I am
wrestlers,
so far removed
but
from
I think
that,
there was
I have no
3
idea.
female wrestlers in the main event.
Dylan
cool.
just texted me.
Oh, how nice. Is he in the Haunted Mansion? Is he going to do Vinny's voice?
No, he just something was delivered.
Oh, how nice.
So when we check on his cat,
Pick up his package.
Anyway, back to the wrestling, which it's funny that he texted in the middle of a wrestling question. So let's see. What video game or game studios you feel have properly highlighted female characters in addition to other minority or marginalized groups?
I would say that I think video games are getting better at making sure that when you have a character creator, there is a male and a female option, which is literally the very least they can do.
Yes.
We have seen some cool games with cool female protagonists. Horizon Zero Dawn, like the Uncharted, the one that came after Uncharted 4 that I don't remember.
Yeah, it was almost like a Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah.
It was like a spin-off title.
And, there have been a handful of others.
And Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you can literally pick either or. And what I liked what Assassin's Creed Odyssey did, and even I want to say the Mass Effect franchise to a degree, they did it as well with the romantic and love interest type storylines.
Kind of went which way.
You can go which way, do your thing. Of course, Ubisoft kind of screwed the pooch at the end of that last DLC.
They tried real hard.
I think that's what it kind of pisses me off, though, about some people within my community in particular, the LGBTQ community, like, very much a part of it. That's cool. Like, I'm all about standing up and speaking my mind, and right is right and wrong is wrong, blah, 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 blah. But when you have a company like Ubisoft, it's this massive, massive, massive company, and you get this game that is so clearly it's there for everybody, and you can tell
they're trying.
A lot of thought went into this, and they tried so hard. Yes, they dropped the ball, but it's almost like story-wise, overarchingly, like they kind of painted themselves into a corner, and maybe they just totally fumbled at the 1-yard line. Fine. But you got to remember that 99-yard run they made up to that point. Yeah. Look at me talking about sports stuff. Like, all the way up to that, all the way right there. They made it all the way. As annoying as it is to see somebody screw a play up like that, just remember exactly how far they ran before they dropped it.
I don't remember the last time I heard this many sports metaphors outside like a strategic planning meeting.
You're welcome.
I guess.
Just saying. But so you've clearly got these massive companies that are making strides and doing what they can. Is some of it pandering? Is some of them doing it for a buck? I'm sure. Yeah. But
really
it's making money for all the right reasons, I guess.
Really what needs to happen, I think, within video games is they really, really, really need to work on, I think, in order to make this better. Like, they've gotten to a point, and I'm very happy that they've gotten to a point, and you have to give them props for getting to this point in the face of that capital G gamer, every time they add, a woman to a game, social justice warriors, blah, blah, blah.
It's not, that's the thing, like, the social justice warriors they're like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh no, and I'm saying the gamers, saying that they only do it because they're social justice warriors, if they hadn't added that, the woman option to my game, they could have had more time to QA it. My game would have been less buggy.
Seriously.
Shut up. But really what they need to work on, I think, within the industry as a whole is they need to, now that they've gotten to this point, what they need to work on next is like leveling up the people that actually work at these studios. Because I guarantee you, if there had been someone who was LGBTQ on the Assassin's Creed team, they probably would have gone like, whoa, hey,
right.
And so as long as the industry is heavily, heavily populated by straight white guys, it's going to be really hard to get representation right. And that's not to say that there aren't women. That's not to say
right.
there aren't, people of color and all sorts of different things working in the industry. They 100% do. But for the most part, they do not work in positions of power within the industry. They do not work in management. They do not work as creative designers. And when they do, like oftentimes they get Amy Hennig out,
Right.
And so that's the next thing they do. And I think if they can accomplish that, you're going to see a lot better representation in video games.
Oh, yeah. And even further, like, it is populated by a bunch of straight white guys for sure.
100%.
But to see that they got a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 98.3%
Give them some
right,
props.
or at least 98.3%,
One thing I will say is that I think
they made it that far with that type of.
good on them, right?
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that the one nice thing is that most of the video game industry, at least, is very conscious of that and tends to lean in a direction where that kind of thing can happen, and that's great.
And I think that we're going to see more changes when, like, the upper echelons of management start changing, and like those old people
die all the time.
Seriously, can they some of them just die faster? God. Let's see what else. And equalization of representation among everyone now versus then.
It's better.
It's a lot better.
Yeah.
So,
Way
and it's
better.
getting better every day.
Yep.
Thank you for that question, Joe Coslaw. Optimist Prime wants to know, says, I just saw the news that Prince Harry wants to ban Fortnite. I don't know why I gave him that voice. Why do you think whenever a video game gets popular, there's always a call to ban it?
I like to think that Optimus Prime is like, I don't know, like a 40s news reporter.
Right? And he's probably sitting there going, wow, he got my voice just right. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. So yeah, I saw this and I'm like, oh, Prince Harry, man, like you were the cool one. Like your older brother, man, he got your dad's looks and that sucks. Like you're the hot, hip, cool.
You married
got the
that
smoking hot wife.
Yeah.
Like you're cool, man.
You married a TV star, man.
And you want to ban Fortnite?
And did you read?
Let's get real. He married a Deal or No Deal model.
Whatever.
Let's not give her that much credit. I mean, she's beautiful and she's acted.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I mean, whatever. Did you read why?
Because he says that it's like addictive. It's created to be addicting.
It's as addictive as drugs and alcohol. That's exactly what. Literally, I read that and I literally just went, oh, man.
And what I think what irritates me more about that, I don't care if somebody's going to call to ban a video game because it's happened a million times in the past. It's going to keep on happening. It's when somebody that's as educated and as notable and as popular across basically every walk of life.
He's huge.
When somebody like that, without a real background in this whole thing, says something like that, it does far more damage.
Yep.
Like somebody like him, unfortunately, that's the way our world works. Celebrity carries way more weight than it should. When they say something like that without anything to back it up, are there addictive qualities to video games? Can you get stuck in this lifestyle?
Of course.
You can do that with anything.
Yeah.
But calling on a band of...
There's always going to be
Come
people
on.
that look at something, especially something like a video game that does give you those little,
Oh yeah, those little
adrenaline
endorphin
boost.
files.
Yeah, it's great. Like I love video games. I play video games every chance I get, and I know that there are people that will avoid real life by playing video games. But that's not because they're addicted to video games. It's because real life always sucks more than video games.
Right.
It has nothing to do with addiction. It has to do with that is an escape, and people, some people get depressed and sleep all day. Some people get depressed and play video games all day. People
don't turn to drugs because, some people do try drugs because they're like, hey, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But
most people turn to drugs because of other reasons.
Because of other reasons. And if you're falling into that thing and becoming quote unquote addicted to something, there's a physical element to like things like drugs and alcohol and whatever, because you're actually putting something into your body that creates this necessity for your body to have it to keep going.
But even that is way less than people think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the times people are ending up in those situations because of something else going on in their life or because of some other thing that's being left untreated. So to say that a game causes this or the drug causes this, not drug thing, maybe, but overall, not necessarily.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of the time another reason for people falling into that.
I've recommended this before. If this is something that interests you, go read the book Chasing the Scream. It will make you think about addiction in an entirely new way.
I'm sure.
It's very good.
So, and why do you think whenever a video game gets popular, there's always a call to ban it?
Moral outrage.
Yes.
Moral panic. Because
mass hysteria.
People need things to blame things on. There's actually
which really sucks because, man, it's Prince Harry.
Yeah. There's another game, another book I've read called... It's like a riff on Mortal Kombat. I think it's called Moral Combat. I think it's really good. I'll look it up. I'll put it in the show notes. That actually does a really interesting take on this. And they said the problem with these kind of panics is that someone will put out a hypothesis that video games are addictive or that video games cause violence. And they'll do a study on it, and, whatever that study shows, all of a sudden they get more money comes in to do more studies on this thing.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it becomes like an industry of people pumping out research that is often, disingenuous, maybe.
It's a whole other economy that's now been created. So
for researchers to it's very interesting, and it's the exact same thing that happened with, it's been happening forever. It happened with television, it happened with Dungeons and Dragons, it happened with rap music, it happened with every single generation has had at least one moral panic, if not multiple of them, and it happens all the time. And really what you need to do is get better at recognizing them, because
just get good.
There's no easy mode for this, people. You have to get good.
Unless you pay $5 to the developer and they might give you a slider. All right. Thank you, Optimus Prime, for that. All right. Turn down for what? Wants to know, could you see games moving in the same direction movies did, from mostly physical to mostly digital, the way some movies have? I should have read this one.
I think the second half of that is actually what.
How could that affect video game rentals? Oh, okay, got it.
He actually got a little tip there from Joe Coleslaw. He helped fill out this question. So,
okay.
We've talked about, could games go from digital or physical to digital?
Yeah, going out to like a red box or whatever.
It's already 40 or 50% of people buy their games digitally. This, I think, was actually a very interesting idea, though, is that could something like Stadia make video game demos easier, or video game rentals easier, where you could literally say, okay, hey, you have access to this game for the next 3 days. It's $4. Click, start your timer now.
Absolutely.
How awesome. Like, I haven't rented a game in... Well, actually, that's not true. I do have GameFly.
I'm like, you got GameFly.
But GameFly is a little different than going to Blockbuster and renting a game, or going to Redbox and renting a game. First of all, we'd have to drive to Bend to rent a game from Blockbuster,
right?
But I don't go to Redbox and rent games very often, or ever. I don't think their selection's great. I think it's overly expensive for what you get. But if someone was like, hey, do you want to try, what do you think about X game? And I could rent it for 3 days off Stadia. That'd be awesome. Pay $5, $4, and then maybe that $5 gets applied to the game if you buy it. That to me could revolutionize like that video game rental, industry. I'm going to say industry, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people do it. So, I think that's a great model for developers to be able to get their games out, or to say, hey, our demo of this game is just the game. You can play the first hour, go. How awesome would that be? That any game on Stadia, you could try it for an hour or 45 minutes before you bought it?
Definitely.
How awesome would that be?
That would be super cool.
Yeah, I think there's a huge amount of possibility there that could really make the technology even more valuable than I think the technology is going to be.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that question. Turn down for what? All right, Angel Girl.
What was that?
I'm like, I don't know. Okay, Angel Girl. Which game's story has stayed with you through the years?
Like the Steely Dan song? Oh, you're going to go somewhere different.
I don't even know. Which game story has stayed with you through the years? I mean, wow.
So many games.
BioShock.
Oh, God. BioShock is a good one.
Yeah. Spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it if you've never played it, but I mean, it's also been, 12 years, so.
That's a good game, though.
Really, really
It's a
good game. And the twist to that, the story's great. It's almost just such a sad twist at the same time. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. For sure.
I know you didn't finish it or like it, but Red Dead Redemption 2 story.
That's what a lot
Red
of people
Dead
say.
Redemption's story, honestly.
And to be honest, whenever I have a spare, 65 hours.
60, 80 hours. Put that one down.
I've thought about jumping back into that just because I keep hearing so many good things. And also I've really gotten into the loop of Far Cry New Dawn. So I feel like if the more I get into
it does
these
have
loops,
a similar kind of loop, yeah.
I could get into that.
Yeah. You just need to push through to chapter 4. That's just push through.
I hear that Far Cry 3's story was actually really good. Or
I've heard
at least,
3 and 4 are pretty good.
Yeah, or at least the main baddie in Far Cry 3 was one of the more memorable ones.
Is Ori a game that, story-wise really worked for you, or is it more the...
So I won't say necessarily the story of it, because the story was great. It was a cute little story, but just the emotional beats that game hit, and especially with the music.
Yeah.
And just the cinematic quality of some of those in-between scenes. Yeah. I don't want to say cut scenes, but...
Yeah, no, I get you, though.
It was really, really well done. Music in particular.
Firewatch was a game that really stuck with me. What Remains of Edith Finch.
Really
I
good.
think there's
those narrative games.
There's that section in the middle with where her brother's at the fish factory that,
it's just so sad.
I think about that all the time.
So sad.
Literally think about that all the time. Mm-hmm. So good. So good.
And a game that was pretty... light on story, but at the same time still managed to tell a really compelling story about loneliness was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yeah.
It was a free game on PlayStation Plus a year or two ago.
Yeah.
It was upgraded, or at least the PS4 Pro kind of puts it's a beautiful game. The music in that game and the final scene is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. And what I would love is for that game to get VR support.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a catch-22, because in VR that game would be astounding, but with the fidelity of the PSVR visor, you would lose so much. And that game is beautiful.
Yeah.
And the music too is
music's really good. I've played maybe the first hour and a half of that, and not that I couldn't get into it, but I played the first hour and a half and then got pulled into something else. There was something else I wanted to play more than that. So I need to go back and finish that. It's a pretty short game, isn't it? 6 hours, 5 hours?
Oh, maybe. I think I worked through it in about 4.
Yeah, I need to finish that out.
Please do it. It's just so good. Also, even though there's not much of that's the thing. It's it's not so much that there's a story that's being told. I guess it's more just these emotions are being conveyed. So when you play something like Abzu, or Journey.
Yeah.
Journey in particular, because in the story is you're just trying to climb this mountain. You're just trying to get to the top of this mountain. And there's no voices, there's no nothing, but the music and the actual journey that you go on is just it's so rewarding and fulfilling, just doing these things.
So I played Journey for the first time relatively recently, in the last, say, 6 months. And I'm not sure it happened to me because I don't remember. But do you remember the little person that comes along and talks with you? Did you know that that's another person?
Yes.
I did not know that. And I think that is the coolest thing in the world. And I'm really kind of bummed I didn't know that before. Or it could be a host of different people. And I wish really I'd known that. And I kind of want to go back and play Journey again and be that person for somebody else.
Right.
What a cool game.
Because in the way they do, I'd like to know how they do that, because I don't know if it's just they randomly just show up and idea. They figure, But that's a cool thing.
I met the developer of that game, but didn't realize she was the developer of that game, and I very much regret missing that opportunity to talk to her about that. But what do you do?
Yeah. Angel Girl, those are some of the games that have kind of stuck with us. And I guess more traditional games, can we think of any, from previous generations? Because these are all fairly new games that have come out in this generation or the tail end of the last generation.
I don't
think there was as much of a focus on it. I mean, there was game story-wise, Final Fantasy series,
Yeah.
Any of those RPGs or JRPGs, there was an emphasis on the story, but outside of that, everything was fairly...
Final Fantasy 3, probably. Wing Commander 5, I want to say, was one that it was a game that had a bunch of FMV in it, oddly enough, and that one really stuck with me for a long time. There's Malcolm McDowell's in it, oddly enough. So is Mark Hamill, actually. Yeah. And it's been 20 years now, so I don't really remember it. Malcolm McDowell, I think, hangs himself at the end of it.
Oh, spoilers.
And I remember that being really, really impactful.
Right.
So, I mean, I think there were games that told good stories 20 years ago, but I think that recently you've seen a really big uptick in hiring writers to, 20 years ago, yeah, sure, maybe there was a couple of games that had writers, but a lot of time it was like, hey, so you're going to be
the guy who makes the beep, boop, boop, beeps.
Yeah, the graphics and the story, like you've written before. He's like, well, I mean, like in high school, sure. Whereas now you're actually hiring writers for video games.
Oh, you wrote for the high school yearbook. You wrote the ads on page 342.
Yeah.
You can write this intro. Anyway.
Exactly.
Cool. So there you go. Thank you, Angel Girl. All right, to wrap up the questions from everybody, Eddie Spaghetti has another round of this or that. What?
It's good.
What?
I need to pull up.
Oh, wait, are these... Okay, so do we pick a this or...
So the way this works is, we will pick one of these things for every line in this thing.
Are these matchups of these versus these, or these are like your preference of this versus your preference of that?
So you have to pick one and the other one goes away forever.
Oh. All right. Done.
So I need to find Dylan's
did Dylan do this already?
Dylan did it already. So I need to get maybe he actually sent it to me this way.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know. I will find him. So go ahead and let's get this started.
All right, so let's go ahead and do this. To kick things off, this or that, puppies or Luigi? Puppies?
Yeah, 100% puppies.
I'm sorry, Luigi. You've had a couple of all right games. One in particular was pretty good, but it's all about Mario.
It's all about...
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, just like...
And puppies.
Puppies always need to be a thing. So...
do we have Dylan's yet?
His was puppies, but I, for the life of me, can't figure out where he sent it to me.
Okay.
So it was 100% puppies, though.
I'm sure. All right. Nintendo.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
N64 controller or Bruce Lee? So
I'm Bruce Lee because the N64 controller wasn't anything.
Loved that thing.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I really liked it.
All right.
But I'm going to go with Bruce Lee just because he. I mean, he had.
So one thing I will tell you is the way this round works is there will be a round apparently next week and so on and so forth. Eventually, these things will fight other things. It's a bracket.
Oh.
So two of the three of us have to agree. So if let's say, so I chose Bruce Lee.
I'm choosing Bruce Lee.
Then the N64 controller goes away because only Dylan chose that.
Did he choose that? Wow. So that's weird because he said that was I thought he said that was a garbage controller.
His reasoning for that is that the N64 is a trident, and apparently that's meaningful.
Well, I mean...
I killed a guy with a trident once.
I mean, Poseidon, yo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
George Washington versus Thanos Snap. I'm going to go with Thanos Snap.
I'm going to go with George Washington because, I mean, like, that's a 50-50. That means one of us disappears, Adam.
George Washington
What if it's me?
George Washington owned slaves and had wooden teeth, and he chopped down a tree and lied about it.
Thanos killed 50% of everyone.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say if the galaxy is as full of things and stuff as Thanos believes, I'm probably going to go ahead and say half of them are probably garbage. None of them on this planet. Well... a few of them on the
he killed Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but kind of a cocky teenager. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to go with Thanos Snap just because if there's a Thanos out there and he happens to be listening to this podcast, maybe he'll have mercy on me when the snap happens. I'll be okay.
No, it's totally random, man. No one knows.
Well,
Thanos could have killed himself.
Yeah.
I think maybe the glove thing protects you. It doesn't matter.
I'm just excited.
I
for
chose
the new
George
Avengers
Washington.
Movie.
Me too. God, I'm
just
so excited. Do you have tickets yet?
I have got tickets for Monday after opening weekend in the Dolby Cinema.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I also chose George Washington,
and
so did Dylan. Dylan's reasoning is what of the bills is Thanos on? So, George Washington's on the $1 bill. My thought was we should put him on the $20 bill because even though Thanos actually, killed, 50% of people, he's still a better person than Andrew Jackson. So
True. All right. Oh, man. I know what's going to win this, and that really sucks. Master Chief or Gummy Bears? Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears?
Did you choose Gummy Bears?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I think Dylan did too.
Oh, sweet. Because you know why? They're bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Dylan's reasoning was that if you covered Gummy Bears in chocolate, you get Muddy Bears.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of Gummy Bears dipped in chocolate, but I love Cinnamon Bears dipped in chocolate. So,
oh, see, no.
Have you had them?
Nope. Yep.
Oh,
nope.
they're so good. I don't think Gummy Bears work. They're too chewy. But anyways, Gummy Bears are fine. I like them a lot more than...
Wait, isn't a cinnamon bear a gummy bear? It's just a cinnamon flavored gummy bear?
No, like the big ones, like the ones that are like an inch and a half high that are cinnamon. They're red.
What are they made out of? Is it a cookie?
It's gummy. I mean, they're gummy too, but they're like a different consistency than Gummy Bears. Like Gummy Bears are kind of chewy, and you can bite these. Go to Winco.
I don't want to. I don't like. I like cinnamon, but I don't like. I don't know why I sang it.
I'll buy some. You can eat some. They're delicious.
Okay.
Anyway.
Sorry, Master Chief.
I mean, Master Chief's fine.
Bye, dude.
Vinny's probably real sad.
It's whatever.
I'd rather have Gummy Bears.
I mean, who even plays Halo?
Anyway, so I think our so puppies are a winner. Bruce Lee is a winner. George Washington is a winner, and Gummy Bears are a winner.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's maybe the most random this or that I've ever done.
That's just. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for all the questions. If you've got questions or comments or just little what ifs, make sure you check us out on Discord at bytemepodcast.com/Discord. All right, let's wrap it up with some cheap free games. We've got some coming your way. First, we start with a Humble Bundle that you can always pick up through our affiliate link at bytemepodcast.com/humble. We'll get a little kickback and thank you for your support for going through there. First is the Humble Humongous Entertainment Bundle, $224 worth of awesome stuff, and you can start getting that stuff for as little as $1.
This is like a way throwback to when I worked at Software Etc.
What?
So these are all of the humongous games. So the Putt-Putt games, the Freddy Fish games, Pajama Sam, Spy Fox. There was a billion of these. They're all like edutainment titles.
I am so not buying these.
No, you should absolutely not buy these. But if you are a gamer with a PC and you have kids that are probably, I'm going to say between like the ages of like 5 and 10, 5 and 12, these are really, really, really fun games. And you can get, I mean, the $1 tier is 12 games.
It's ridiculous.
The average, which right now is $11, gives you an extra 3, 6, 9 games. So that's 20 games for $10. Or you can pay $14 and get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 more games. So for like $15, you can get like 50 edutainment titles.
Why not?
And they're all really cool. So I mean, these, if you grew up playing these, you'll remember them fondly, I'm sure. And your kids will love them too. So that's a really good set of games. If
really
you've
good
got
deal.
Young kids.
Do it. All right. So if you are one of the few people who own an Xbox One S or an Xbox One or an Xbox One X,
Xbox.
Or if you have an Xbox, and you don't have Game Pass
or a PC,
because they've got you need it because it's literally the best value in gaming, and it's the Netflix of video games done right, at least for the right now.
For right now.
Unbelievable deal at $10 a month. Right now, you can get 3 months for $1.
Yeah, and I think this is it's very much not for people that are currently subscribing, so you can't pay them $1 and like add 3 months onto the end. I don't know. I know if you are not a subscriber, you can get the deal right now.
Right.
I'm not sure if you were on it and then left, if you can come back for $1. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I don't have any way of checking.
Yeah, just look at the fine print before you jump on the deal. But
it tells you very explicitly.
Yeah, but if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, or you just want to try and save some money, look it up, check it out. It's just do it.
I mean, you could always.
And the games they add are just insane.
There are
These are
so
games.
many great games. Every single month I go and I'm like, oh man, there's like 5 new games that I want to play that I don't have time for.
So now, have we talked about exactly what happens when games go away from the service? So like, if I downloaded a game and I've got it saved locally, does it send like a check to the system to check for a license that might be active?
So once they're gone, they're gone.
And they're just non-playable anymore?
Yep, they go away. They do, if, they're usually pretty good about telling you that it's going to go away.
Yeah, because there's a couple of games that are coming up to expire that I'm like, well, I've got that one, I really want to play it.
So finish them fast, or you can get like a 20, 25%, sometimes even more discount on them if you want to purchase them.
Well, that's the whole point. I don't want to purchase them.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, cool. All right.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, it's really good. Game Pass, 3 months, $1. Do it. If you don't have the Epic Store downloaded and installed on your machine yet, well, maybe you should, because every month or every couple of weeks, every month.
Every two weeks, I believe.
Okay. They've got a new game, and it's free for you. And right now, it's been free everywhere else 1,000 times over. So if you don't have it already, you should get it. It's called The Witness. Super creative, puzzly, first-person-y kind of game.
It's really interesting. It's by
the guy who did Braid.
Jonathan Blow, the guy who did Braid. And it's like any game, like Braid was too. Like, the game might be a little more intellectual than, or pretend to be a little more intellectual than
and sometimes
it actually
it's
is.
Just like,
it's hard. It's really hard, but it's really fun, and it's actually a pretty good game to. It's a single player game, but it's a good game to like couch co-op with people, because different people look at things different ways, and so it often can help creatively solve the puzzles. The game was $40 for years and years and years, and I really wanted to do it and did not want to pay $40 for it. I think I eventually bought it on sale at like $25, and now it's been a Xbox game.
That was one of those games where when it was upcoming and it was hyped, it was like pre-order it, da-da-da-da-da. And I am the king of pre-orders, and I love a good puzzle game.
Did you pre-order it?
Oh yeah, I pre-ordered it because all I heard was puzzle.
Yep.
And I love puzzle games.
Yeah.
Love them. I had no idea. And this is the thing. Like, every game or every puzzle in this game is a variation on the same kind of puzzle. It's a grid. It's a thing that's in front of you. And whether it's fitting shapes or shadows or lines or drawing paths or doing these things, it's all based on the same kind of thing.
It actually makes it a very hard game to go away from and get back into.
Oh yeah.
Because
there's an element, there's like a rhythm that you find in these games, and you know what to look for, and you know the things to kind of expect.
I'd like to finish it, but I probably never will. I should really just
watch 280 puzzles.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like 400.
See, there's just
I probably should just watch someone play.
I found like 50 Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, and there's
You're not going to solve the 400 puzzles.
I'm not going to solve 400.
I should probably just watch someone do a Let's Play of it. That'd be good. It's a good game, though.
That would be good.
Beautiful game.
Yeah,
beautiful. I took so many screenshots of that game. Gorgeous.
All right, so there is that. And then over in the world of small bites, right now, you heard about a lot of people. Didn't people get like really pissed off when they announced this?
I think that was actually the Diablo game.
I'm thinking, the Diablo game.
They probably were mad about. People get mad about everything, Adam.
Rage gamers.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Blades is available now for everyone on your preferred app store, I believe.
Apple and Android, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I actually downloaded it this morning because I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
It requires a Bethesda Net account, which I know I have, but I can't remember what I used to log into it. And I'm like, please send me a password reset to the email I know I used. Well, it hasn't sent me one. And when I try and log in, or when I try and I need to change my email address, they're like, sorry, that email address is in use. Well, send me the effing password reset.
Probably every one of their dogs trying to reset. I mean, why would you need a Bethesda account? When was the last time you needed a Bethesda account?
I don't know.
So probably everyone's doing it. It's just
great. It's probably the system's like, we don't know what to do.
You'll get it tomorrow morning.
Emails. All right. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Make sure you. What do I want to say? What should we talk about?
You should subscribe to our podcast.
Yes,
that's what I would recommend. Go to bitemepodcast.com.
I hear it's pretty good.
It's new. It's a little bit not new, but it's a little shinier. I've done some stuff.
Cool.
Subscribe to our podcast because that would be cool. Mm-hmm. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at facebook.com/bitemepodcast and twitter.com/bitemepodcast. You can join our Facebook group. Please do. There's only 44 people, and I would like to make
it's fun.
I'd like there to be 45 or 46. Facebook.com/group/bitemepodcast, I think.
You know what? Just go to Google, type in Bite Me Podcast, all one word.
Yeah.
If you want. Or whatever.
Or 3 words.
Or whatever. And it's literally the first page and a half is going to be everything you can link to. Yeah. On our site, on our Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So do that.
We do okay.
Yeah. And also make sure you go to patreon.com if you would like to help throw some cash our way. Want to make it rain a little bit for us? That'd be great. Patreon.com/bitemepodcast. And I think that is it. I'm going to try and do more streaming on the Mixer, A West Prod. on there if you'd like to check that out. Follow me, whatever. I'm the same name. I'm AWesProd everywhere. PSN, Xbox, Twitch, Twitter, Mixer, Xbox. I already said that. Nintendo Switch. No, yeah, no, maybe.
That's a friend code.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there's that.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah.
All right, that's that.
Bite me.
Bite who?
Yeah.
Yeah, bite.